met for the first time.
Good evening.
Hello, lady. You ladies drive?
That car ain't run in 15 years. The day my husband died, I quit running.
Nothing is like it used to be, lady. The world is almost rotten.
My name is Lucy Now Crater, and this is my daughter, Lucy Now Crater. What's your name?
Name Tom T. Shiflet.
I'm pleased to meet you. Where you come from?
I come from Tarwater, Tennessee, but you have never seen me before, so how you know I ain't lying? How you know my name ain't Aaron Sparks, lady, and I come from Singleberry, Georgia, or how you know it's not George Speeds and I come from Lucy, Alabama, or how you know it ain't Thompson Bright from Tula Falls, Mississippi.
I don't know nothing about you. What you carry in that box?
Tools, I'm a carpenter.
Well, if you come here to work, I'll be able to feed you and give you a place to sleep, but I can't pay. I'll tell you that before you begin.
Lady, there's some men that some things mean more to them than money.
Are you married or single?
Lady, where would you find an innocent woman today? I wouldn't have any of this trash I could just pick up. Is she your baby girl?
My only, and she's the sweetest girl in the world. I would give her up for nothing on earth. She's smart, too. She can sweep the floor, cook, wash, feed the chickens, and hoe. I wouldn't give her up for a casket of jewels.
No, don't let any man take her away from you.
Any man come after her, I'll have to stay around the place.
Lady, there ain't a broken thing on this plantation that I couldn't fix for you. One-armed jackleg or not. I'm a man, even if I ain't a whole one. I got a moral intelligence.
I told you you could hang around and work for food if you don't mind sleeping in that car yonder.
Why, listen, lady, the monks of old slept in their coffins.
They wasn't as advanced as we are.
The next morning he began on the roof of the garden house while Lucy Now, the daughter, sat on the rock and watched him work. After a week of working, Mr. Shiflet had patched the front and back steps, built a new hog pen, restored a fence, and taught Lucy Now, who was completely deaf and had never said a word in her life, to say the word bird. Lucy Now followed him everywhere. The old woman watched from a distance, secretly pleased because she always wanted a son-in-law. One day when Mr. Shiflet was sitting on the porch next to the old lady and Lucy Now, who were in their rocking chairs on the porch, Mr. Shiflet explained that he was going to try and fix the car. The old lady was very pleased with all the work he has done so far, even with teaching Lucy Now how to say bird. She also asked him to teach her how to say sugar pie. Mr. Shiflet knew what was on her mind. The next day, Mr. Shiflet talked to the old lady about what the car needs to run. After talking about, the old lady says,
You see Lucy Now over there? If any man tried to take her away, I would say, no man on earth is going to take that sweet girl of mine away from me. But if you would say, Lady, I don't want to take her away, I want her right here, I would say, Mister, I don't blame you none. I wouldn't pass up a chance to live in a permanent place to get the sweetest girl of the world to myself. You ain't no fool, I would say.
how old is she?
15, 16.
The girl was 30, but it was impossible to guess because of her innocence. Tom begins to try and change the topic. It would be nice if you could paint the car, too, because she don't want it to rust out.
We will see about that later.
That night on the front porch, the old woman brings up Lucy Now to Mr. Shiflet again.
You want an innocent woman, don't you? You don't want none of this trash.
No, ma'am, I don't.
One that can't talk, can't sash you back, or use foul language. That's the kind for you to have, right there.
she would give me any trouble.
Saturday, you and her can go, and me, and we can drive down into town and get married.
I can't get married right now. Everything you want to do, it takes money, and I ain't got any.
What you need with money?
I wouldn't marry a woman unless I could take her on a trip like she was somebody. I mean, like take her to a hotel and give her something good to eat.
Lucinelle doesn't even know what a hotel is. Listen, you'd be getting a permanent house and a deep well and the most innocent girl in the world. You don't need no money. Let me tell you something. There ain't any place in the world for a poor, disabled, friendless, drifting man.
Lady, a man is divided into two parts, body and spirit. The body is like a house. It don't go anywhere, but the spirit, lady, is like an automobile always on the move.
Listen, Mr. Shiflett. My well never goes dry, and my house is always warm in the winter, and there's no mortgage on a thing about this place. You can go to the courthouse and see for yourself. And yonder, under that shed, is a fine automobile. You can have it painted by Saturday. I'll pay for the paint.
I'm only saying a man's spirit means more to him than anything else. I would have to take my wife off for the weekend without no regards at all for the cost. I have to follow where my spirits say to go.
I'll give you $15 for the weekend trip. That's the best I could do.
That wouldn't hardly pay for more than the gas and the hotel. It wouldn't feed her.
$17.50. That's all I got. So it isn't any use you trying to milk me. You can take a lunch.
I'll make that do.
That Saturday, Mr. Shiflett and the old woman and Lucinelle all drove into town in the newly painted car. The car was painted green with a yellow band around it, just under the windows. Lucinelle and Mr. Shiflett got married in the courthouse through paperwork and blood work. After that, they went back home to drop off the old lady and pick up the lunch. The old lady now begins to say her goodbyes. I ain't even been parted for her for 2 days before, and I wouldn't let no man leave her but you, because I seen you would do right. Goodbye, sugar baby.
Mr. Shiflett started to inch the car forward so she would let go of Lucinelle. Lucinelle and Mr. Shiflett then drove away together in their car. Lucinelle ate lunch as soon as they left the yard, and after driving about 100 miles, he decided that she must be hungry again. So at the next town, Mr. Shiflett stopped at an eating place called the Hot Spot and took her in and ordered her a plate of ham and grits. However, Lucinelle came in and fell asleep on the counter in the restaurant. The counter boy stared at her golden pink hair before the food came. Lucinelle was snoring gently, so Mr. Shiflett began to talk to the counter boy. I'll pay for it now.
She looks like an angel from God.
Hitchhiker, I can't wait. I got to make Tuscaloosa.
Mr. Shiflett began to drive off alone. Occasionally on the roadside, he would see a sign that warned, "Drive carefully. The life you save may be your own." As Mr. Shiflett was driving, he saw a boy in overalls on the side of the road, so he stopped in front of him to see if he needed a lift.
Son, I see you want a ride.
Without saying a word, the boy got in the car, and Mr. Shiflett began to drive. They were silent for a few minutes before Mr. Shiflett started to talk.
Son, I got the best old woman in the world, so I reckon you only got the second best. It's something so sweet as a boy's mother. She taught him his first prayers at her knee. She gave him love when